Hi guys. Well, this isn't going to be the normal weekly vlog that you normally get from me. A few little changes on the channel. I'm going to start posting on a Friday evening at 6:30. There is one planned for next Friday. It's ready to go, and you'll get it on Friday night. So I thought I'd put this one on today. It's going to be a hard video for me to record, because I want to tell you a little bit about my life with what's going on in the world now regarding with all the mental health and mental well-being and that in the world. I thought I'd tell you something that very, very, very few people don't know about me. And I thought I'd give you my life story, if you like. So if that's going to bore you, you might as well click off now and go make yourself a cup of tea. So I suppose my life started at school. I was bullied at school. Not as bad as some people, but I was bullied at school. I've always been a bigger guy. I'm big framed. I wasn't particularly fat at school, but I was chubby, and I got picked on badly for it at school. And it made my school life quite difficult. Difficult is probably a good way of putting it. And it wasn't until late in high school years that I realised I didn't have to put up with that. So the last couple of years at school weren't too bad. After leaving school, I then decided to improve myself, and I started working indoors. Started working the doors at it was either late 18 or early 19 when I started working the doors. And I learned, and I grew up very quickly doing that. I met what I will call wife one. I met wife one when I was 18. We had children at 21, 23, and then we were married at 25. And then she ripped my heart out. She absolutely ripped my heart out at 20 when I was 29. Ripped my heart out. She was working full time. I was an apprentice tattooist, and I was working the doors on the weekend. So I was looking after the children through the day, and children 2 and 4. And she absolutely ripped my heart out when she told me she didn't love me anymore, and she wanted me to move out. It was horrible. I thought I had a perfect marriage. Looking back now, it was very obvious it wasn't perfect. But she ripped my heart. She really, really hurt. She ripped me to bits. And she wanted me out there and then. So I left. I packed a bit of a bag and a few bits and pieces, and the only place I had to go was my sister's. My parents had moved into a 2-bedroom bungalow, and I had my grandfather living with them. So there was no room there for me. The only place I could go was my sister's, and she had no room for me either, really. And I ended up spending several months living on my sister's couch. I had very little income. I had no car. I was actually banned from driving at the time. I'd been a bit naughty, and I'd lost my licence for 6 months. So everything was going wrong in my life. Everything was going wrong in my life. And then my grandfather passed away. I was very, very close to my grandfather. And that pushed me over the edge. That was the final straw. I couldn't take anything else. And I made the decision that was it. I was done. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it anymore. I had a bottle of Jack Daniels and a very, very large pile of pills, and I did the lot. This was in 2001, summer of 2001, and by this time I had my own flat. I'd managed to secure a flat, a council flat, and I just had enough. So I took the lot. And looking back now, luckily, a friend at the time, who at the doors with was trying to get in touch with me and needed to speak to me about something. He knew I wasn't very well. He couldn't get in touch with me on the phone. We had mobile phones. Yes, we had mobile phones back then. I had a mobile phone. He couldn't get in touch with me on that. Couldn't get in touch. He came to the flat. My car was outside. He could hear my phone ringing inside, but I wasn't answering the door. So he actually put the door through because he knew something was wrong, and he found me. Had he not found me, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys now. Like I said, that was coming up 20 years ago, 19 and a half years ago. So Craig, if you're watching this, pal, you saved my life. You know you did. I owe you a lot. Well, I owe you everything. I spent some time in hospital. It was a very, very dark time. Very, very dark time in my life. Now, just very, very few people know this. So I'm sharing it with you guys. The reason I'm sharing it with you guys is because you need to understand that behind this happy, smiling face, there's a past. A past that not many people know about, not many people saw. Even my wife doesn't know about this. So Sharon, if you're watching this, now you do. My parents never knew, never got to know. My sister doesn't know. I sorted myself out, and then in September of 2001, we all know where we were on the 9th. I know exactly where I was. And September 11, 9/11, over in America. That happened. And it kind of put into perspective the issues I had. And it kind of switched me on a little bit to what I did have in my life. I did have 2 children that I could still see. She didn't stop me seeing the children. I could still see my kids. I did have my mum and dad. Like I said, I'd lost my grandfather. He was my last grandparent. I did have my sister, and she was there for me when I needed somebody. So I started to pick myself up, pick my world up, and then I was working in a nightclub, and by this time I would have been 29, 30, something like that. And I was walking through the club, and this young, size 10, attractive young lady, bearing in mind I wasn't fat than I am now, I was in really good shape, I looked after myself back then. She jumped on me, told me she loved me, blah blah blah, and I latched on to her because I needed somebody in my life, and it was a mistake, and she became wife too. We didn't stay together very long, 2.5 years total, and then I realised that she wasn't right for me. Her lifestyle wasn't right for me. It wasn't right for my head, and I made that decision and I walked away from that. Luckily we didn't have no children together. She had a child from a previous relationship. So I left that relationship, and I started on that downward spiral again. I moved back in with my parents. Obviously they had the spare bedroom after my grandfather had gone, so I moved back in with my parents, and I started to drink a little bit. I was training really heavy. Got really back into training, really back into the martial arts, living for the gym again, working the doors again, starting to love life again. but I still had this in the back of my mind that something was missing. Something was missing, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't know what it was. And then I went on a night out in Wakefield, and I saw this 5'2" blonde. I liked the look of this 5'2" blonde, got chatting to her, and we hit it off, and she filled in a lot of the jigsaw puzzle pieces that were missing in my life. And she's an amazing woman, an absolutely amazing woman. Let's backtrack a little bit. After my second daughter after my second child was born, I had a vasectomy, so I couldn't have children. And Sharon, who's now my current wife, last definite positive last wife, Sharon had a ectopic pregnancy, so she had a 50% chance of getting pregnant in the first place. I had a 0% chance of getting a lady pregnant. So we made the decision, after a while, we made the decision to pay for me to have a reversal done, a private operation for me to have a reversal done. Bearing in mind now, I'm back in the right frame of mind, I'm loving life again, I've got a beautiful woman, I've got myself a good job, I was working hard, nice car, you know, I'd started to really pick my life back up again, really started to pick it back up again. So we had the operation, very successful, against all the odds. We became pregnant very, very quickly, and we got our beautiful little girl, Paige. She's grown up into such a beautiful girl, a beautiful young lady. She's amazing. She's a very talented girl. Beautiful. You've seen her on my videos. She's absolutely stunning. So we got Paige, and then we decided to try again for a second child, and we got pregnant, and unfortunately we miscarried. We miscarried that one, and then we pretty much tried again straight away, and we fell pregnant, and we got our little lad. He's not so little. He's a big guy. He's an hard as nails. He's a solid kid. And he's growing up into a gentleman. He's kind of going down the same route I was going down, carrying a bit of extra weight, but he's now realised that he needs to do something about it. You know, we're kind of pushing him, as I am with my weight. He's seeing the issues that I'm having with my weight now, and he doesn't want that himself. So we'll skip on a little bit, because we had him in 2010. We'll skip on to 2015, and my mum had been suffering a little bit with ill health, and I got the call Friday morning, and I was fairly local at the time. Obviously I was working away driving a truck, and I got the call to say that my mum was seriously ill. So the company I work for, Trustwell, were brilliant. They didn't say nothing of it. Truck straight back to the yard, in the car and away. And we were waiting for an ambulance to come out to my mum to take her into hospital, and we were there an hour, and we saw my mum dying in front of us. Her health plummeted in that hour. We thought we were going to lose her. This was 2015, let's say. Anyway, the ambulance arrived, and then she was diagnosed, you know, weeks later, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Bless her, the stubborn old bat that she was, she battled that disease. She had chemotherapy, she lost all her hair. I've never seen my mum so ill. And then she got taken ill New Year's Eve of 2016, so December 2016. I went with her. Well, I followed the ambulance down to the hospital because she was so seriously ill. And then she was in hospital for a couple of weeks. And Paige and myself went to see her, and she looked brilliant. She was smiley, happy. She looked fantastic. And then the following Sunday, she'd gone. She'd passed away. She left us. and my heart broke again. My mum and I are very, very close. The last time I saw her, she was smiling. It was my mum. So I spiralled downward a hill very quickly after that. I left Trustwells. Don't know why. I hadn't been noticing. I got another job. I hadn't been noticing. They'd been brilliant with me throughout my mum's illness and when she passed and the funeral, etc. I was allowed as much time off as I needed. They were fantastic with me. And I got another job and I just left. I hadn't been noticing, worked my notice and left. And I just couldn't settle. I couldn't settle. Like, for nearly a year I couldn't settle. I was in an awful place. I was driving down the road, a 44-ton truck, and I'm looking for bridges and embankments to just drive off, bridge parapets. I'm even shouting and bawling at highways, calling them absolute arseholes, because they're putting Armco barrier right up against the barrier, the bridges, so you can't drive into you can't hit the bridges. Looking back, it's ridiculous, I know. I just didn't want to be around anymore. Again, I didn't want to be around anymore. And it took a lot of sorting my head out, and people were like, cheer up. Jeez, man, do you want to borrow razor blades? Well, yes, actually, I do. At that time, I did. Yeah, let me do razor blades, please. The last thing a person that was feeling like that wants to hear is, come on, mate, cheer up. Why? My mum's just passed away. Anyway, and I made a phone call to a former driver of WS, who I used to work with. He used to work with me at Trustwell, shooting it with him, and I'd bounce between different companies, and I wasn't enjoying the companies. Didn't feel at home, felt alienated, probably my own doing. And then Andy suggested I come to WS, so I made the phone call, made the jump, and here I am. And my little girl curled up on my lap one day at home. I've been with WS a month or two, and she says she didn't like the way the person Daddy had become. She didn't like the way I was. I've piled weight on since my mum passed away. I've piled weight on. I didn't care. I'm going to die anyway. Why worry about it? Why stress about it? Etc. etc. It's ridiculous and stupid, I know, but that's the way it was. And so she curled up on my lap anyway, did Paige, and she said, she don't like the way I am. She don't like the way I speak to Mum. I nearly lost my wife. I spoke to them like crap. I spoke to the kids like crap. I'm quite honest to say, honest enough to say that. So I started to pick myself back up. This is probably 18 months after my mum had passed. And then I was at work Monday morning. Well, just before New Year's on December 2018. My son and I had gone to see my dad. My dad was obviously living alone now. My mum had gone. We nipped down to see him on the Sunday. We were chatting, and he was asking how I was feeling, how I was. He knew I wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling very excited about life. And he said something that confused me at the time. Again, I've not said anything to my wife. I've never said this to my wife. But my dad said, "Don't let this one go." That's in the wife. "Don't let this one go." He says, "She's too much like your mum." And my mum was an amazing person. She would do anything for anybody. and that's exactly what my wife's like now. She's brilliant. She puts everybody first, which annoys me really. She puts everybody before herself, and that's exactly like my mum. That's what my dad said. He said, don't let this one go. She's an amazing person. She's just like your mum. And that was about, I think that was between Christmas and New Year. We went to see him on New Year's Day, January the 1st, on the Sunday. Came back to work on the Monday, January the 2nd. And then on January the 3rd, I get a phone call early-ish from the care company who were visiting my dad. My dad had carers to his disabilities. The carers have gone in to see him in the morning to get him up, as they call it, his first visit of the day, and they've found him still in bed, not breathing and unresponsive. Obviously they can't say that he passed away, but it was only about an hour later, less than that, half an hour later, that paramedics had been and they pronounced him, he'd gone. Both my parents had gone in 2 years. Just started to pick myself back up, and then I plummeted again. But the roller coaster of emotions is amazing what you go through in life. I miss my mum. I miss my mum more than I miss my dad, but I think that's because I didn't get no closure with mum. She was happy, she was smiling, and she's gone. Never seen her again. Gone. But my dad, he was happy, he was smiling as always, grumpy old git, brilliant bloke. But I had to clear out his house, I had to clear out his clothes, his affairs, I had to close down all his bank accounts, etc. I had to do all that. My sister lives in Ireland, so she couldn't do it. But I had to do all that. So I got closure with my dad, but I just don't get closure with my mum. I still haven't got closure with my mum, and it still hurts. It's only a few weeks ago something triggered me and I was sat at the kitchen table bubbling because I miss my mum. I'm a 47-year-old man and I was crying because I ain't got my mum anymore. But I do have, as I said, a beautiful wife. I do have 2 grown-up children who I would love to have more contact with, but well, for reasons I'm not going to go into in this video, I'm just not going to go into it. I don't have the contact with them 2 that I should have, I would like. I still love their mum. I'll always have a place in my heart for her, always. I'm not in love with her, but there'll always be a place in my heart for that girl. My wife knows that, I've told her, it's not something new to her. But then, fast forward to today, I've got 2 fantastic children with my wife. Paige is doing so well at school. Academically, oh God, she makes me look thick. She's so switched on, she's so clever, she's just so clever. She's athletic, she's aerobic, if that makes sense, into all the, whatever, throwing herself around, TikTok things. She does all the TikTok dancing and all that good stuff, and they're really good. She's really, really clever. And as you know, she plays flute. She's very, very talented at that. She's just an amazing girl. And she's, like I said, she's grown up into a beautiful woman. And TJ, my lad, again, he's doing brilliant at school. His mathematics is just phenomenal. His thirst for knowledge is phenomenal. He just takes knowledge in. He just takes things in his head and just keeps it there. Amazing how he does it. And he's doing so well. He's such a loving kid. That kid's going to be a paramedic. Mark my words on that. He'll be a paramedic. He's such a kind, caring kid. Saying that, I did freak out when I stuck the nail in my thumb. Maybe not. And then there's my wife. So Sharon, if you are watching this, I love you, simple as. Madly, crazily in love with you. You came into my life when I needed you. Yes, we have his issues. Yes, over the last 12 months and that, we're having issues. We've had issues. More to do with money. You know, with all this COVID stuff going off, it's a strain on everybody. Yes, I'm not been out of work, but it's a strain. You know, it's just a strain on everybody. It's causing issues for everybody. But we will get through that. We will get through that crap. And yeah, we're gonna have a long life together. I absolutely adore you, girl. I absolutely adore you. So for any of you guys that are watching this, I hope you kind of understand it's gone on for long. I'm 25 minutes in now. This is said from the heart. It's not scripted or anything. It's just the way my life's been. And I wanted you guys to see it and understand where I come from. I started doing videos to give me something to do through the week to stop me thinking. I started these videos not long after my dad passed away. He passed away in January. I started these in the June, July time. My other channel, I started that not long after my mum passed away. I used some of her insurance money that we got. My sister and I got a little bit of insurance money, and I fitted my workshop out with the welding gear. My mum paid for all my welding gear. So I started. So when I needed a therapy, that's when I go into the workshop, and I go into the workshop to be with my mum, and I make stuff in the workshop. Sad but true. So if you're feeling down, depressed, anxious, anxiety and all that good stuff, if you've got mental illnesses, or you think you might have, I don't think you have, but maybe you could have, just talk to somebody about it. There's always somebody to talk to. Send me a message. Go on Instagram, find me on Instagram, send me a message. There's contact details in the description below, even a mail address of WS Tankers. Write me a letter, send me a letter. I will write you back, I promise you. I make you a promise now. If you write me a letter and you've got issues, I'll handwrite you. You won't be able to read it, but I'll handwrite you a letter and I'll write it back to you. I'll send it back. There was something I was listening to the other day, podcast, and it's the last thing I'll say, and I'll leave you alone. Every house is built on foundations. So when you're at rock bottom, you can only build upwards. I'll leave you with that, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you watched it all the way through, I really do appreciate it. I know it's not a normal video, but I hope you understand. As I said, behind a smiley face is not always a happy person. Thanks for riding along with me. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.